And now your host for Around Town, Jane Bouvier.
Hello again, and welcome to Around Town. I always want to thank Scott Harker for doing that voiceover at the beginning of the show. I hear it and I think, I forgot about that. Anyway, thank you, Scott, for doing that. My first guests tonight are Ted Lapers and Susan Hughes from the Groton Conservation Trust, amongst other 10,000 other things. How are you?
Good.
This is a big announcement. Ted Lapers has never been on this show before. I think you're the only one left in town.
It's an honor.
Connie, your wife Connie has been on, but you haven't, so welcome.
Thanks.
So tell us all about what is the Groton Conservation Trust?
You want to take it?
We are a land management organization. Next year we'll be 50 years old, so it was founded in 1964. And I happen to have on my sheet the founding fathers: Robert Gosselin, Joseph Hayes, Richard Hinchman, Francis Nash, and Melvin Rowan. And we have some 33...
About 35 properties, and over that 50-year period, just a group of remarkable people worked to preserve over 1,400 acres. And just some great stories, you know, the Skinner Forest donated by the
You have
Tapland.
1,400 acres in conservation?
In town,
And these were all volunteers in the trust that worked over the years to help us save all that land.
Was Richard Hinchman, his wife's name Phyllis? Does anybody know? Yes.
I hear yes from the crowd.
I knew Phyllis. I didn't know, because, anyway, long story.
And we have some trust members that have 30 and 40 plus years as trustees. June Johnson, Chuck Vanderlinden,
Dan Chamberlain. Ed McNeary's been on a number of
Rick
years.
Mulkey's been on a
Rick
Mulkey's
Mulkey.
been on a real long
With the
time.
Bob
Wendy
Pine,
Good.
yeah.
Bob Pine.
With the wealth of information,
Absolutely.
and knowledge about these beautiful places in town.
And we're known in Groton, really, for preserving land.
Protecting.
I mean, that's one of the reasons people come here, I think.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the things the trust has done over the years is produce that map of the town that has all the conservation properties, not just our own, but the Conservation Commission properties or New England Forestry Foundation. So I know the townspeople always love it when we mail the map out, because it helps give you a view of the whole town.
Why don't I have a map? Where does it go?
Well, it comes when you join and you pay your dues. But we also go, for instance, we're going to be at the Greenbelt River Festival on the 23rd of June, and we have them there.
Excellent.
We bring them with us to all the things, to your Groton Fest. We come with those, with it there, and people do love them. They love to look at all the spaces.
And about every 6 years, we mail them to everybody in town.
In town, anyway.
That's a bigger exercise.
I think maybe never mind. We have to get to why you're really here right now. So I'm going to let you.
Well, yeah, one of the, I guess a couple of things. We feel it's important to get better known in town, and so there's a lot of effort going on there. But the biggest thing that we're doing right now is we're attempting to get accredited with the National Land Trust Accreditation group. They're the group that oversees all land trusts across the country, and they've set a set of standards that they want trust to follow, and it was more for larger, full employee, big employee organizations in other parts of the country where maybe the practices weren't so above board. They didn't cover smaller, all volunteer trusts like ourselves. But I think we looked at and began to say, if you could meet all the standards that they set out in financial practices, in good board governance, in record keeping,
communications,
and then most importantly, how you manage your lands, that it would be good for us as an organization.
It's amazing.
So there was a foundation that was giving grants to smaller organizations like ourselves. So we got a $15,000 grant to help us get some resources, because it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I was going to say, who manages these properties?
We're doing as all volunteers, where so many other organizations have 5, 10, 15 paid employees. So it's not easy.
That is amazing.
Yeah. And so we've been going through about a year of, we had someone come in, study us, say, look, you're doing a great job, but these are the things that you could even improve on. And so we've systematically worked at it.
Wow.
You mentioned Connie, she's not in the trust, but she's been our project manager,
has.
so she's done a lot of work. And so we just filed our pre-application this week, and our final application will be filed in September. And then this organization studies us, comes back, comes to visit us, sees the main projects that we've taken on, like the general field, things like the Mason back 100. And we want to show them that we really run a top-notch organization. And then the other thing is we have so many of these longer-term board members, and we want to be able to ensure we have good practices so that as new board members come on, you get that institutional knowledge passed on, and then we're ready to be as strong an organization 25 years from now, 50 years from now, as we have been the last 50 years with some remarkable people.
Absolutely. And I would think people like Arthur and Camilla Blackman have probably donated land to the trust.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Are there many of the members that have done that?
Well, I know the Hayeses donated their property
Oh, the
over
Hayes,
by there,
yeah.
which is beautiful hiking property over
Yeah.
there. Marion Stoddard and
Yeah.
Hugh just donated
Yep.
a piece of their property too.
That's
And
just
then we had the
wonderful.
Masons that were
Masons,
wonderful,
yes.
and Bob Gamlin and his wife
Yeah.
Frances, and Jack Bruner had donated
Oh,
some
that's
land.
right. Yeah.
That's right.
So you
yeah.
could go on and on.
Yeah,
Like I said, the Taplins with the Skinner
Yeah.
Forest, and we're not even doing justice to some other people.
I would be, is it harder now because of the economy and everybody's working in the family to get members to come on and do the jobs that you all do? It's not like the old days anymore.
Yeah, it is harder. Everybody's stressed for time. What do you think, Susan?
But we do have a wealth, we have the 15 trustees, but we also have a wealth of volunteers that are stewards, land stewards, and these are people who either live near the properties or take a particular interest because they love to hike it or do some sort of recreation on
Yeah.
it. And so they are volunteers to kind of be our eyes on the ground
Great.
there. And so they work with us as a volunteer. And so the network is huge because people love the properties
That's
and they love the
fantastic.
land and they help a lot.
How much does it cost to join?
We take in, it's a donation,
Oh.
but as little as $25
Okay.
is an annual, starting annual fee. And we have a website, gctrust.org.
gctrust.org.
And there's all sorts of ways to see our properties there, to see who are the trustees, to see how you can help, how you can volunteer, or even donate.
What are some of the ways you can volunteer?
As I mentioned before, being a land steward,
Yeah.
and if there's some property near you or something you like to be on, you can. I work with the stewards in particular to just kind of let me know if there's issues. We had a particularly funny one on Hayes property where I got a call and there was a Pepsi machine, a vending machine, right at the entrance of the property. And I said, what, really, a machine? And it had fallen off a truck.
Oh my gosh.
And so
funny.
our steward on that property said, I can't move this. And we said, no, don't move that. So we had to call Tommy Delaney
Oh my gosh.
to help get that out
God
of there.
bless
So
Tom Delaney.
that's an extreme one. Usually it's around campfires or tires.
Flooding, ever flooding? And things
Flooding.
Like that? Yeah.
Beavers.
Beavers, yeah.
I think the other big thing, so much of the last 40 to 50 years has been about the projects to acquire the land, which were amazing amount of work involved. I think of stories of June Johnson and Bob and others and the work they've done, Dan Wolf, Marion.
Yeah.
But we've begun to realize that there's probably less of that now, but we have to be wonderful stewards of these 1,500 acres. And so we're turning more to land management and active land management. So we need more active monitoring of the properties, what's changed in the past year, the past 5 years.
Right.
And then taking an inventory of that and then putting good plans together.
Yeah.
So a couple of instances, we've had some interesting Eagle Scout projects where
That's
they helped
great.
us with an invasives project.
I'm going to cut you off because we're out of time. However, will you come back? When is the next?
Well, our 50th is next year, so we'd love to come
Well,
back
definitely
and
for that.
include
But
you
when
on
is
that.
when are the people coming back to for
In
the
the
next
fall.
in the fall?
So we could find
So
another time.
maybe after they come, we'll do a whole show. I'd love to do a whole show and maybe bring Marion on or bring a couple of
That'd be
people
awesome.
on.
That'd be
Can we do
wonderful.
that?
Yeah.
Promise. I have
Promise.
to get you back a second
That's
time.
right.
Ted,
We'd love to
thank
come
you
back.
so much
Thanks
for
so much,
being
Jane.
here. Thank you,
Good to see you,
Susan. I'm
Jane.
sorry to cut you off
No
so
worries.
soon.
No, that's
But
good.
congratulations. And one more time, the website.
gctrust.org.
Great. Thanks for being here.
Okay.
In just a second, we'll be bringing up Jeff Schwarz, and he is, well, he owns a wonderful company in Shirley called ISS, and I can never remember what it stands for. Interactive, what is it?
Image software.
Image Software says many. It's fabulous. It's a wonderful. We'll talk a little bit about that. But he's also the new chairman of the board of the Nashoba Valley Chamber of Commerce. So, and has his picture right up here. So you are absolutely. I can't believe 2 people here tonight have their pictures up there. That's great. How are you?
Great, how are you?
Good to see you. I
Good to
feel
see
like I'm
you.
very far away from everybody tonight.
Well, I was told not to move.
No, you stay. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you very
Good.
much.
Congratulations on your new position as board president.
Well, thank you very much.
I think I said president of the chamber, and I think if Melissa gets wind of that, we'll be up the
We
creek.
will.
Because Melissa Federhoff, who does a fabulous job, is the president of the
That's
chamber.
correct.
That's
That's
right.
correct. Yep.
So let's talk about your business.
Okay.
I can't really do a commercial, but I can certainly say what fascinated me you do all kinds of printing and all of everything.
Matter of fact, here's a pad
Oh,
for you.
a pad.
There we go. Yes.
Excellent. You do everything.
Yes.
Anything that anybody wants.
Yep.
You don't do like T-shirts and things, do you?
We do now. Our premise is if it's a digital file and you need more of them on any material or any substrate, we can do it.
Wow.
And material, shirts, paper, vinyl, foam core, building wraps, car wraps.
That's amazing.
But if it's a digital file and you need more of them, we can reproduce it.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm proud to say you are a major sponsor of Groton Fest this year,
Yep, we are.
which
We're
makes
very
me
pleased
very
to do
happy.
that.
I hope
Yep.
you're going to be there. You're going to actually
We
be
are.
there? Oh, good.
Yep.
I'm very
Yep, we
happy
will
to
this
hear
year.
that.
Yeah.
What got you into that business, this business?
At the time, the majority of the business, we made CDs and DVDs, and if anybody can remember, 3.5-inch floppies.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And from my perspective, that was modern manufacturing. And I need, at the end of a week, a month, a year, to look back and see that we've made some physical things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the direction that I looked at, that things were becoming digital, but they still needed to, that digital file needed to come out of a computer, and that ability to turn it into something physical is what I get my jollies from.
That's great.
Yeah.
Did you go, I mean, is your background in printing? And
No, I'm a mechanical engineer and,
Okay.
and very smokestack, started out in the machine tool building industry, so, yeah.
Well, you're doing such a good job over there. I was fascinated when you said that you reproduce CDs now
Yep,
in bulk,
yes.
which I would think every young rock band in the area would be over there.
Well, we would like you to advertise more that way, but many of them do it electronic downloads. But being able to physically hand out a disc for a lot of the independent musicians is
Right.
still a wonderful business.
And you
for
can
us.
make their little covers for their
Yeah,
CDs.
we make the covers, so we can make download cards, like a business card that they can hand out. Yeah.
That's fabulous.
Posters and all T-shirts.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think there's a huge need for that in the, I mean, obviously.
There
you
is.
know, yeah.
There is. Part of it is getting the word out, and part of it is making sure they understand that we can do it with small runs. They
Right.
don't have to spend $1 million.
I was just going to say, you can do small things as
we
well as big things.
do business card runs of 10, and we do shirt runs of 1. So
Sounds
pretty
good to me.
small. Yeah.
When you do something, I'm going to get back to Groton Fest. You're sponsoring Groton Fest. I'm sure you sponsor several other things. I
Yep.
know you've given me gift certificates for things that my kids are doing, whatever.
Yes.
What makes you, I mean, does that help your business, or do you do it because it's your heart says I should do this?
It's led by the heart. It
Yeah.
really is part of the business. Is really we're part of a community.
Right.
We're not just a business trying to make the most money we can. We're part of a community, and that feeling is we need to be able to work with organizations that are community driven or community based,
Yeah.
and work with them so that they can reach out further and be more successful. We can print, and we can, quite frankly, print better than any of our customers can print. They have other things that they can do and
Right.
really should be doing. So it really is part of supportive and being part of the community.
We need you to open like a little branch in Groton so people can just run in and like Xerox.
Yeah,
Don't date
yeah.
me, but
We'd love to. And actually, that's part of our business plan, is to look at the communities and
Really?
see where we might be able to have a small footprint. We still have our main space in Shirley, but if you could have a small space, say
Yeah.
in Groton, there'd be walk-in business and stuff we could do there,
Absolutely.
but then some of the bigger runs would go back to Shirley.
you know, it's funny because when I was on the Economic Development Committee, that was one of the things that, well, I brought it up because I thought, actually I think someone else did, we don't have a printer in town.
Right.
And isn't that right? The selectmen could be using that all the time? I mean, it would be great to have somebody like
Absolutely. Great.
that. Okay.
We'll work
I'm
on
holding you to that.
Okay, excellent, excellent, great.
Let's talk about how did you get to be the chairman of the board of the chamber? Have you been on the board?
I've been on the board for a little while. There's a chain of command, if you will, that once you're on the board and on the executive board, then each year you move
like
up a little
Rotary.
bit.
Yep.
Like Rotary.
Yep.
And this happens to be my year, so yeah.
You excited about that?
Very.
That's
Again,
got to be a huge amount of work.
Well, having Melissa is phenomenal.
That's true.
And actually one important aspect of the chamber, I talked about a little earlier, off stage, is we have a revitalized legislative committee. When Jason Cuppy is the head of that, we were actually at the State House on Monday visiting with 10 of our representatives and legislators
Great.
to talk about the business community and our position on some of the legislation.
Oh, that's great.
So that sort of thing, again, the chamber now represents 650 employers and 6,800 employees,
Jeez.
and all from Central Mass. And it's important that they know what we're thinking and they hear from us.
I think it was a real coup, and I'm assuming Melissa was the one that got this going, to inherit the Wachusett
Yes.
group.
Yep. Absolutely.
And that's huge. I mean,
is
how
huge.
many people did that bring in?
That brought in about 300 businesses. Yeah.
Are they active?
They are, and we're working. That part of our initiative this year is to make sure that we are a broader geography this year, and so we need to make sure that we're doing things that incorporate them, and we're working on that. It's actually gone quite well. The chamber has a group called the Ambassadors, and in May they had lunch in Clinton. And then they spent the afternoon visiting all the businesses on High Street, which is like Main Street, from the chamber, for the chamber. And so that's part of the outreach for the Wachusett group.
That's
Yeah,
great.
it's been
We're
great.
just about out of time, but I
Yep.
want you to talk about the dinner coming up.
Yep, so on Wednesday the 12th, we have our annual banquet, and it's got a fantastic silent auction, a very lively live auction.
Who's going to be the...
The MC is Dave Rogers.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
I
so
love
he's
Dave
great.
from Workers Credit
Yeah.
Union.
And then the other thing is our called the Big Win, which is a $10,000 drawing.
I want to win that.
So a single ticket is
Great.
100, but we do a lot of shares
Yep,
as well, and it is
yep.
very exciting to win. So that's
Excellent.
Wednesday the 12th at 5:30.
Is it too late to get a ticket?
Nope, not at all.
How do they do that?
They can do that at the chamber website, which is nvcoc.com,
Okay.
or they could call the chamber.
Okay. And
Yeah.
the food over at Devon's Commerce Center
It's
is
great.
wonderful.
It's wonderful. And it's a relatively
It's not
short
Commerce,
evening.
though. It's Common Center.
Common Center.
Center.
And we're usually wrapped up by 8:30, so it's not a terribly long and drawn-out affair. It's
Great.
fun.
It is fun. I've
Yeah,
been there
great.
several times.
Excellent. Well,
Thank you, Jeff.
oh, great
Good
to
luck
be here.
with
Thank
that
you very
new
much.
job, and hopefully we'll see you in Groton.
Yes, you will. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you for being here.
Yep.
Just a second, we'll be bringing up Bert Erickson and Selectman Peter Cunningham, and they're going to talk about a fundraiser they are involved with. Not a happy subject, but anyway, I want to remind everybody that the kids that are in the Shane's bullying program that were on last week, their summer blast, June 22nd. I'm holding up. Oh, there we go. It doesn't work. There. June 22nd at Sampus Pavilion, Pawtucket Boulevard in Lowell, and that's from 12 to 6. And go and support the kids. They're just great, and they're going to be at Groton Fest also. Hi.
Hello, Jane. How are
Boy,
you?
now you've all been on several times.
A few.
Not together, but
No, this is probably the first time together.
yeah. Bert Erickson, Peter Cunningham. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
I want to get right to
Yeah.
your subject because these are 3 little segments tonight.
Well, unfortunately for him and for his family and for the community, Kevin McKenzie is quite ill.
Let's tell everybody who Kevin is.
Kevin McKenzie has been our representative since.
Yeah, he's been the representative to the Nashoba Regional, our school committee representative, the Nashoba Regional Vocational Tech School since 2003.
Wow.
And really single-handedly, I think, reinvigorated that position and its relationship, particularly with the town of Groton, and really did a lot to emphasize the benefits of what the tech had to offer, and really, I think, worked a lot on the relationship between the town, the community,
Always a
and
town
the tech
meeting.
school.
Always a town
Always
meeting.
a town meeting, always making connections with different organizations in town about the different services that
Yeah.
tech could provide. Our senior center has benefited.
And
other
the
areas of
Groton
town.
Dunstable School District has benefited too by
Right.
his being.
Yeah.
He did so much for the community and,
Yeah.
and on behalf of the tech, and unfortunately he's in a very difficult medical situation, and it's one where he has no insurance coverage, or the insurance coverage he did have is not really covering his expenses, and a lot of that's falling on the family.
Yeah.
And I think, is anyone familiar with long-term medical care and particularly specialized medical care and nursing facilities, it can burn through family resources
Absolutely.
very, very quickly.
He's a young guy.
He's 61, I think.
Yeah,
That to
actually
me is
60.
a young
so
guy.
He is young.
He's young.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's certainly a young guy.
That's a
So-
And
shame.
it's, well, it is. And so we're attempting, we've had one meeting and we've established a seemingly well-oiled, well-working group that is planning a series of fundraisers. We're going to kick off with probably the 4th of July celebration down at the town field on July 8th, whereby Donnie Black is going to organize the police and the fire and the scouts and others to rally around Kevin
Great.
for that day. And then we have auctions planned in the future. These are all tentative plans, but we've got Sheila Harrington is working for him presently legislatively
Great.
to help out the situation. There is a distinguished part of his illness, and one of which is he has COPD as well as cancer.
That's the
And-
breathing thing, isn't it?
Yes, it is,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
where the rub is as far as his medical care is concerned at this point. But we're doing our utmost to help out in the situation. But the cooperation is terrific. Mark Haddad has offered, the country club, and we're going to hopefully raise some really good
Great.
funds for them because
great.
they need them.
Yeah, I think the vision is to really try to get the community involved in trying to help Kevin, and particularly his family, because again, the burden, the financial burden,
Right.
to try to pay for his expenses on a daily basis is just insurmountable.
Does he have? I don't know anything about his family. Obviously,
Well,
it's-
his wife is a special needs teacher and has been for several years. She teaches at North Middlesex for MEC.
Oh.
And they do have two children, one married and one engaged. I think they're older, they're in their 20s.
Yeah.
And they live in the area.
Yeah.
But it's been hard on all of them,
Yeah.
of course. And he's presently in Rhode Island, which is quite a trek.
Kevin is?
Yes.
Why is he in Rhode Island?
It's
Well, the facility, the nursing facility, there are only so many, acute care nursing facilities that will take someone that's on a ventilator. He's currently on a ventilator for a large portion of the time, and there are not that many institutions that will actually provide care for someone
Is he
that's on a
lucid?
ventilator.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
very
okay.
much. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he is. He has his, thought processes
Yeah.
and stuff. You can certainly, carry on a conversation with him. But
Does he know you're doing this?
He does. Yes, I actually had an opportunity to visit him yesterday
Great.
with former selectman Fran Dillon,
Great.
and we spent some time with Kevin. And he was glad to see us, and he's glad to know that the community is, trying to rally around and help him and help his family, because that's something that he is very concerned
Yeah.
about. And obviously, in his condition right now, there's not a heck of a lot that he can do to help out. So we're trying to,
Yeah. Good for
organize this,
you.
pull it together, and and help him, because
Yeah.
he did really so much
Sure.
for the community through
Yeah.
his relationship with the tech school.
Absolutely.
at
I
Nashoba
hope the
Tech.
tech is going to jump in here.
They are.
yeah,
They're very
very
much
much.
involved.
Yeah.
Judy Klimkowitz has offered everything they can possibly do
Great.
legally
Yeah.
to help this effort, and we plan to
Yeah.
utilize
Yeah.
that.
He's always
group.
next to her at town meting. Whenever she comes to
Oh.
town meeting, he's
Yeah.
right
They're
there
tied
with
at the
her.
hip, and,
Yeah.
and they've been very good for one another.
Yeah.
It's been a kind of a symbiotic relationship.
Should do something over at the Bull Run. Wasn't Chip Curcio? No, it was not Chip. It was, what's his wife's name? Chip's wife.
Yeah, I know what you
Dolores.
mean, but okay.
She was on the board with Kevin for a long time
at the tech.
at the
Oh.
tech.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know
So
that.
that would
Yeah.
be a good tie-in also.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
Yeah, we're fine. Actually, it's interesting, and I think Berta will recognize this as we get into this. We're finding more and more connections
Right.
of things that he was involved in,
Yep.
and people that now want to come forward and try to help out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
He did
amazing.
Boy
Really, really
Scouts
big.
too, or something, didn't
That I don't know.
I
He
can't
was,
remember.
yes, he was active in, I think, in Boy Scouts and
Yeah.
helped with the Boy Scouts and stuff. So there's an awful lot of stuff
Yeah.
that he did for the community.
Yeah.
And now's a good time for the community to, to step up
Absolutely.
And he's
try to
always
recognize that.
faithfully at Groton Fest
Absolutely.
with the tech
Yeah,
and
absolutely. And at the Taste of Nashoba.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
knew something must be wrong because I dragged myself out in the snow
Yeah.
this year, but he wasn't there, and I thought that's interesting. So
Yeah, they did very well this year.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
one of the things we've done for starters, Jane, I'd like to just get this out there, is that we've actually established a fund for Kevin, and it's at the North Middlesex Savings Bank, the
Great.
Groton branch.
Yep.
And for anyone that's interested, they could send a check to the Kevin McKenzie Medical Support Fund, care of the North Middlesex Savings Bank, and that's at 489 Main Street, P.O. Box 1250 here in Groton, 01450. So if folks were interested and wanted to contribute to the fund, that's where they would.
could they
would
drop
send
a
the
check
checks.
off at Town Hall?
They could certainly do that in the selectman's office.
Okay.
And
Right.
it would wind up there. That absolutely they could do
But
that.
North Middlesex, Priscilla Scales is the branch manager, and I'm
And we've
sure
been working
she's
with
had-
Priscilla.
she'd be great.
Yeah,
Yep,
she's
she's
very
helping
aware
us.
of what's going on. They've
Yeah.
been great. Actually, been very, very helpful
Yeah.
in setting this up.
And
Yeah.
this will be on the website for the town at
Right, there'll be a link at townofgroton.org for folks
Great.
that are interested.
Yeah,
There'll
if they
be more
forget the
information
address,
coming
they'll
out.
Yeah.
just.
I
Well,
hope
they'll
the
be able-
papers are putting something in.
We are having coverage.
There are, yeah. In fact, there
Landmark
was
is going
a-
to do a cover story.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
yesterday, actually, there was a story in the Lowell Sun yesterday
Yeah.
about it. And at the Nashoba Tech School Committee meeting the
Good.
other night, they actually talked about this and some of the things they're going to start doing.
Great.
So that was covered and that was reported
Good.
on in the Lowell Sun, so there's a story there.
We've got to get it in the Groton Herald. We have a website now, so we'll put it up there. I actually asked if they
Yeah.
received something the other day, and Loretta said she didn't think so. So
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
But
we're
we'll
just
get-
working
we'll
on
get
it.
the- I
We're
know.
just getting
establishing it.
Yeah.
started. We're getting
Yeah.
it off, but we definitely want to get it out there.
Yeah.
So you're going to keep it, come back here. We're almost out of time, but let me know what's going on, and the news also, the Groton Channel News, so we can let people know
Yes.
what's coming up and what fundraisers
Yes,
are coming up
Brendan
and all
and I
that.
have already
Good.
talked about that.
Good,
Yeah.
excellent.
No, yeah, and we'll absolutely appreciate any
Yeah.
outreach and help
Yeah.
that we can get in
Is-
getting the word out.
I
and
don't
stuff
know
like
his
that.
wife. Is she doing all right?
Well, she's working very hard, and this has really put her on edge
Yeah,
a
of
bit
course.
because it's just such an emotional thing to have your husband so far away with these problems and then go to work every day.
Yeah.
So she's holding up very well. Very.
Yeah, but it's hard because she also goes down to visit him, and that's a
I
bit
was
of a
gonna
hike,
say,
bit of a
that's
hike to get
big
down there
hike.
and everything. And I think the one thing and I actually got a sense yesterday when I was visiting with Kevin with Fran Dillon is that I think Kevin feels good that there is an effort like this going on in the community to help support his
Right.
family. Because he's in a position
Of
right now
course.
where he can't really do
Absolutely.
that. And
It's
it's
been
a
a trend-
measure of comfort for him to know
Absolutely.
that there are people that are concerned about his
Yeah.
family and trying
It's
to help.
been a tremendous boost
That's
to him
great.
and the family.
Right.
We're out of time, but congratulations on doing this. It's really
Good.
wonderful. And
Thank you.
I want to find out, which I'll mention next week, how people might write a note to him. So I'll call you and we'll
Sure.
get that
Good.
word
We'll
out.
get the
Absolutely.
address.
Okay,
Yep.
thanks
Okay.
for being here.
Okay,
Just sit right
great.
there for a second.
Will do.
My crew tonight, to look around, Hartley Pleshaw is here tonight, and Renee Moe, and Chris Giorgio. I knew that. And the beautiful, the wonderful, the lovely Brendan Crew. Who's back there? Just Brendan on the camera. Oh, and Jessica Cernak. Where is Jess? She directing? And Jessica Cernak. And in 2 weeks, we're going to be doing a crew show because this crew is going off to college after 4 years, and they have been absolutely spectacular. So that's going to be a great show. Anyway, thank you so much for being with us, and we'll see you around town. Thanks for being here. You guys look great. Yeah. By the way,
A good kickoff.
yeah, good.